Hi, in this video, we are going to cover the changes related to 20C done on the Oracle Utilities Analytics visualization for WAX. As part of this releases, we have majorly worked on two different subject areas. The one is the existing subject area, which is asset activity cost. This particular subject area is used to calculate the different types of cost related to assets, which are maintenance cost, renewal cost, total cost, etc. This subject area in this release has been enhanced to include the estimated and actual cost for different maintenance types, and which can be sliced and diced based on different resource type like labor, material, miscellaneous items, etc., cost category, cost centers. We also introduced a new subject area which is asset labor hours. This subject area can be used to slice and dice the different labor hours which is consumed in doing the particular maintenance activities. You can charge the different labor types based on activity, cost center, employee unavailability. It gives you details about the regular and the overtime labor hours charged for emergency type of works or regular corrective maintenance work or preventive maintenance works. In this video, we are going to cover about one of the canvases which we have made on the asset labor hours. So this particular canvas or project is basically a dashboard which is designed to give a handle of your labor hours consumption at any level of the organization hierarchy or departmental hierarchy. Some of the key questions which this project will help you in answering is like, what is your labor hours distribution across the different departments and organizations? What is the trend? What is the overtime hours compared to the overall labor hours? What are the top 10 different asset types consuming the maximum number of labor hours, etc. on that part. So let's move to the canvas where we can see in detail about the asset labor hours project. So this particular project, as you can see on the left, is using the asset labor hours subject area. This is a new subject area introduced, and there are a lot of dimensions along which you can slice and dice based on the activation, activity, asset location, financial transactions, and work category, etc. If you see the measures, it has lots of measures where you can actually slice and dice and see the data based on like what are the regular labor hours against corrective, preventive maintenance, regular labor hours against emergency, construction work orders, overtime hours, your total overtime, total regular, the percentage of labor hours charged on corrective maintenance and regular labor hours charged. So all those calculations are given by as out of box, which will be available for you from day one to use in your canvases. So let's go a little deeper into the canvases. So this is the first canvas, which is talks about a labor hour dashboards. This is a dashboard which gives you at a very high level overview about your labor cost, like the labor cost, the total labor hours, the total regular labor hours, the overtime labor hours, and it also slice and dice the data based on the different organizations, what you have on the regular labor and your preventive and corrective maintenance hours part. This canvas also allows you to further drill down within the location hierarchy. Like for example, we know that wastewater department is consuming most of my labor hours, regular and overtime. So would like to see, okay, where exactly it is consuming more. So I can go and drill to third level of location, which is further down, and I can see that, okay, the wastewater treatment plant has the maximum number of hours getting consumed, and then we can see, okay, which particular plant is consuming more within the treatment plants, and I can see that, okay, plant 3 is something which is really consuming more hours on that. So this is a great way where you can keep drilling to the lowest level to identify exactly where your labor hours are getting consumed the most. You also have an option to look into the details about those hours by drilling to the maintenance hour details canvas, where this particular canvas will be refreshed with only those asset types which are consuming the maximum number of labor hours, and we will be able to see the details about those over here. Now let's bring back the canvas to the original state. The next is the overtime labor hours. So this is one canvas which gives you a details about your overtime labor hours, like how exactly your overtime looks like. It gives the overall cost of the overtime labor hours. It gives you the percentage, like almost 15% of your overall labor hours are overtime. Your corrective maintenance and your preventive maintenance, how much overtime were done to complete these activities. Part. Um, the bottom two graphs will actually give you a trend, which shows you the trend of the total labor hours and the percentage of the overall labor hours again on each year. So if you can see that it's kind of a downtrend where the by 2020 your overtime hours have reduced to 11 or close to 12%. So this graph gives you a trend view about the total labor hours and the overtime percentage of overtime hours charged on that. The second view gives you the details about total overtime labor hours and overtime labor hours emergency work. So basically, what is your total overtime hours, and how out of this, how much is spent on the emergency work on it. This particular graph can give you a detail about exactly are you spending the overtime hours to do your day-to-day job, or is it something on emergency work which needs to be done on it. So this particular dashboard gives you a complete details about your overtime labor hours. Moving to the next one on the maintenance hours. In this particular canvas, you can see there are three visualizations which gives you the details about the labor hours and for the top 10 activity type, and similarly labor hours for the top 10 resource types and the top 10 asset types. Now, these three graphs can be used collectively to identify where exactly or which asset types are taking more. Like for example, I know that my second largest effort on spending on the labor is on the activity minor repair. So I can select the activity minor repair, and then I can see that, okay, these are the top three technicians which have utilized my most of the labor hours for completing the minor repair activities. So I can say, okay, maintenance technician. So I want to see which asset types are consuming on it. So if I keep selected the maintenance technician, I get these are my top 10 asset types which where this maximum number of maintenance technician details are getting consumed over here. Now if I want to further see that, okay, this pump singular and centrifugal is actually consuming a lot of hours, and see what type of maintenance is done, I can actually drill to maintenance labor. I can keep selected and then move it to the maintenance labor details. And over here, you can see that the maintenance hour details this particular dashboard gets refreshed to show only the centrifugal pump type and the details about all the maintenance work activities done on that. Hope you like the video. Thank you.